How's it going, Mike?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you heard about this new Phantom controller?
Oh yeah, the Phantom White controller. Yeah, I've got one. Look, it's all white and see-through. You know me, got to have the latest controller.
No. Keep on, Mike. What I'm talking about is not the Phantom White controller, but the Phantom Clear controller. Yeah?
Right.
It's all see-through. In fact, you know, the buttons, the casing, the components, all of it, right? In fact, I'm holding one right now.
How much do you want for it?
50 ought to do it.
You have yourself a deal.
Hello and welcome to Outside Xbox, where you're watching another episode of Show of the Week. I'm Jane.
And I'm Mike.
So, Mike, what have you been doing this week apart from collecting Xbox controllers?
Well, I've been playing Sekiro Shadows Die twice, or as I like to call it, Sekiro Shadows Die 487 times so far. I die a lot in it.
Yeah, I got it.
忍びよ目覚めてくださいあなたの主のために
You would call Sekiro difficult then?
Yes, it is difficult. Spoiler alert, it's difficult. Yeah, so game by From Software, guys who made Dark Souls and Bloodborne, legendarily difficult games. And yeah,
so what is it then?
So basically,
Top line.
It's a sort of feudal Japanese ninja type story, but with fantasy elements. Very early in the game, again, not really a spoiler because it happens within the first sort of 10 minutes or so, but your arm gets lopped off. And you get this sort of shinobi prosthetic thing, which allows you to grapple around the place, and you unlock different abilities for it and things like that. Interesting in previous From Software games you were a created character. Now you are an actual character that has a name and a face.
Is it Sekiro?
It's like you're called like the Lone Wolf or something like that. Yeah,
that's a name.
Your name is Sekiro, I think, but your sort of nickname is the Lone Wolf. But yeah, you're on a quest to rescue your little. There's like a child lord who's been kidnapped, and so it's your job to go and find him, basically. It's a beautiful looking game. I mean, like, these guys do great kind of worlds and things, and this is a sort of, feudal Japan, but on like huge cliff faces, and everything's a vast scale.
Is it one of those Dark Souls style giant maps, see everywhere, one day I'll be over there, that kind of deal?
It's not quite as sort of contiguous as the original Dark Souls.
Okay.
But the areas themselves are large, but they're kind of connected via a sort of hub world type thing.
Right.
But yeah, there's a bit of that, but not quite as much. It's not quite as interlocked as the original Dark Souls,
Sure.
which I did love, and it's sort of a shame it's not quite as good. But it's more like Dark Souls 3. If you're familiar with that game, there are large areas, and you will spend a certain amount of time traversing those areas, but it's not all completely connected in the way that the original Dark Souls was.
And if you're not familiar with Dark Souls or Demon Souls,
Yes.
is this a good place to try your first From Software game? Is it more accessible, less accessible? Is it a good place because you're not starting, the Dark
Midway
Souls
through.
series partway through?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Basically, the original Dark Souls, although they remastered it, is a little bit clunky and kind of difficult to get used to. Whereas Dark Souls 3, there's so much lore that's kind of piled up. Like when you come home from holiday and you open up the door and there's just this drift of sort of
Dark Souls
letters
lore,
and bills.
yeah.
It's like that, but with Dark Souls lore.
Right.
Whereas Sekiro is a fresh start, fresh storyline. Get in at the ground floor, and then if you like it, then you can kind of maybe go and partake in the previous games like Bloodborne. I think pace-wise, it's a bit closer to Bloodborne than Dark Souls. It's a bit more offensive. You can kind of really get in there with the combat, and because the way it works is that you defend each sort of strike as it comes in. It's a bit more sort of, you kind of pile in and really get involved, whereas in Dark Souls you can spend a lot of time carrying behind a shield and waiting for your sort of opening. It's not so much about health, it's about whittling down your enemy's poise to get to the point where you can kind of sneak in with a death blow, which is a bit more ninja, right? I mean, ninjas don't go in and just like start shanking people until they lead to death, basically.
Not in my experience,
They're more about like, fighting and honourably and then finding
there's more like a duel or a fencing match,
lot more
that
like a
kind
duel.
of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, interesting.
so your timing is really, really important. So you can deflect incoming blows, but if you get your timing right, you can sort of do parries and things like that. And then there are these really difficult sort of almost impossible to avoid blows, and you have to do a specific, it's sort of like a rock, paper, scissors type thing. You have to do specific things depending on the type of attack that's coming in, and they are hard.
That does sound hard.
There's a lot of really difficult bosses in here. So I think if you're a beginner,
yeah,
it sort of eases you in probably more gently than Dark Souls does.
Right.
It has the classic Dark Souls and sort of Bloodborne and Demon Souls type thing where there's a massive boss at the start who will immediately like kill you to bits, basically.
We call him the tone setter.
Yeah, exactly, the tone setter, yeah. Tone for short. Big tone.
Big tone.
But yeah, so that all happens. But then there is a bit of tutorializing and stuff, and you get a bit of a guide on how to do things. There's
very generous of you.
Yeah, there's a specific
From Software.
There's a specific character for combat training.
Yeah.
So like that is, by From Software standard, that is a peace offering, right?
Sure.
That is a real.
Yeah.
They're really going easy on you.
Here's
there.
the olive branch, and then hate you.
Exactly.
With the olive branch.
Smack you in the face with the olive branch until
Right.
you're raw. Yeah, but once you've done the first couple of hours and stuff, it really steps up in difficulty.
Okay,
I've
okay.
only played a couple of hours so far, but it's very much. It really ramps up very, very quickly, and you'll need to have a great command of the combat system to get through those bosses.
Interesting. Okay, and with reference to the full title, which is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Yes.
What's that all about?
So when you get killed in the game, assuming you have one of these sort of little dots, that means you can kind of resurrect. So it's sort of like a checkpointing system, but very much connected to you dying. And you only have like one opportunity to do that unless you unlock another one through combat. So if you were playing like well and you resurrected, say, and then killed the boss, you might unlock another token that will allow you to die again.
Interesting.
But
okay.
in general, you've got two shots basically. If
Okay.
you die once and then you die again, you're done. And
It's like a continue, but from where you were.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have any of those continues left, where
Yes.
do you start from?
You go back to the kind of bonfire type thing. It's a sculptor's idol, but it's basically
Okay.
like the bonfire system
Okay.
for Dark Souls.
Right,
so
right, right.
if you're familiar with that, you'll be familiar with it. But
You'll be rolled back further, possibly much further.
yeah,
That kind of thing.
But I've got to say, in my experience, what happens is I get killed by a really tough boss, and then they start to walk away. They're like, "Job done. He's dead. Body's going cold." And then I go, "Ha ha! I'm still alive." And they turn around and just stab me again, and then I die again. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
But is there a timer? Can you wait?
Yeah.
Can you be strategic about
You're sort
when
of
you
bleeding
respawn?
out. Yeah, you can wait until they're as far away as possible, but
Okay.
you're unlikely to get the drop on them again. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to like wait till they walk away and stealth kill them. Usually,
Right,
I think you must make some sort of horrible wrenching sound as you come back to life because they immediately turn around and go, "Oh, he's back."
I thought I got you.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh. I'm curious whether the die twice mechanic was like the focus, like the central pillar of the game from day one, or they realised they'd made a game that was so bloody difficult they needed to give everyone like 2 chances.
Yeah.
Did they try Shadows Die 3 times?
I don't know.
Did they try Shadows Die 1 time? Like, was Shadows Die Twice? Is that
I don't know.
the core pillar of the experience, or is that something they've added to try and make it more accessible? It doesn't sound accessible.
Yeah, it's
but
still
it's
very
obviously
hard.
it's very different. Like that's one of the central differences with like a Dark Souls game.
Yeah,
I'm just curious like where it came from.
I think they must have like prototyped a few different versions in development. I think I read an interview saying that. But also I think it's sort of, you know how in Dark Souls when you die you drop all your stuff
Yeah.
and you have like one shot to go and get it back. I think it's that same thing. It's less about the kind of it being 2. It's
Yeah.
more like if you get killed,
Yeah.
you have one more chance to redeem yourself.
Right,
and
right,
after
right.
that, it's like that's the level of clemency you're getting.
Yeah, actually that is a pretty close parallel now
exactly.
you mention it.
But I do think I really get the feeling that like From Software working with Activision, which is quite a sort of mainstream, you know, US-based Western publisher.
Yeah, that's the key difference.
I can imagine they will have had some like Activision producers looking at it going, can we make it just a bit easier, just a tiny bit easier? And From Software would be like,
I can't imagine Activision dictating like that key mechanic.
No.
But I know what you mean. Would you say the game feels less like willfully obtuse and obscure? Like Dark Souls is very mysterious and like the lore is not really like spoon-fed to you. Do you think it feels a little more straightforward with the kind of...
It's got cutscenes,
stuff?
it's got like
Cutscenes,
a voiced
wow.
main character.
Okay, yeah.
None of those two things. I mean, there are sort of, there's like the odd cutscene at the start of Dark Souls, or you know, when you're introduced to a boss. But this actually has like conversational cutscenes and characters that talk to each other and things. So it is presented, I guess, in a bit more of a digestible way. But I think it's definitely still going to have all those kind of like mysterious bits of lore and
That's good.
lots of little storylines and characters that are dropped in and stuff. So.
That's part of the appeal, like lore that you have to kind of work for, dig into.
But let me ask you this: like, you've not played Dark Souls or Bloodborne yourself.
I have not.
Do you like? Are you interested in Sekiro? Is it something that like you might have a crack at, or is it just like From Software?
I am interested in it, and I'll tell you for why. Not just because I am so late to piling onto the Dark Souls bandwagon. Like the bandwagon is pulling far ahead, and I'm really gonna have to run.
People
to
are falling
catch
off
up.
it and dying.
But like you said, this is a good time to jump in, not partway through a long-running beloved series, but like get in on the ground floor. At this point, everyone, you know, knows as much about Sekiro as the next person, give or take. So I'm into that. Also, right now, like swordplay and like fantasy monsters in an old-timey Far Eastern fantasy historic setting is my big mood because I have just watched on Netflix Kingdom, which is this South Korean kind of historic fantasy deal with zombies and lots of swordplay and like sweet action and zombie
lots
killing.
Of slow-mo.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about slow-mo, but it is extremely cool, and yeah, it's given me a real taste for East Asian fantasy, historic. It's like Game of Thrones, but with zombies and sort of, well...
That is exactly Sekiro.
Yeah,
that is,
exactly.
Ticks all those boxes.
So yeah, I'm feeling it as a kind of mood.
Nice.
And also, yeah, it's now or never really to get on this Dark Souls bandwagon. Otherwise, I just have to write this entire genre off and then come back in like 10 years.
Lots of people have written that entire genre off, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the fantasy element is really key for me. I think when I first saw it, I thought it was a kind of Tenchu stealth assassins, like reasonably straight down the line, or at least the first game was.
You thought Shinobi?
Yeah, I thought like history.
Warriors, swordplay.
Sorry, Andy, much as history's good, I like the kind of fantasy elements and things like that. And that's the stuff that really appeals to me. It's got that enormous scale that Dark Souls has. It has those bosses that are just absolutely massive and will completely terrify you. And it's got zombies.
It's got zombies.
Always up for some zombies.
Zombies confirmed. So, right, good.
There you go.
What is the flavour of zombie? All about the zombie variants.
They're sort of like, to me. They're not specifically described as zombies, but there's this disease called the dragon rot. Like all these things, there's a ton of mystery about it. I don't understand half of Sekiro. Probably won't understand half of it by the time I eventually, hopefully, finish it. But it's got all sorts of interesting things like this dragon rot where every time you die, people around you get this horrible disease called dragon rot.
What? You as the player character?
Yeah, so the more you play...
So you're spreading the zombie disease. You should stop playing.
Way to make me feel even more guilty about being bad at this game From Software.
Just a suggestion, Mr. Sekiro, but maybe you should stay at home and stop dying. Because you're just spreading the zombie plague all over town.
It's the only responsible thing to do.
It's the only responsible
I'm going to go throw the game disc out the window.
Wow, this is a late arrival. This is a late breaking news for me that you're actually the instigator of the zombie plague.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's all to do with the fact that you never
got gooded. What?
That.
So you're saying if I never died, then no one would get zombieism?
Exactly. Yeah.
But because I keep dying twice, in fact.
Yeah.
So I keep dying twice times a million. Everyone's getting dragon rot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Way to make yourself feel terrible about it.
That's cool. All right. So everyone, let's all agree. Whoever's watching and hasn't played Dark Souls or Demon Souls, let's all agree to play Sekiro and watch Kingdom. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's my little.
Good. I'll go watch that. You play Sekiro. I'll go watch.
Agreed.
Kingdom.
Let's go now.
It's a deal.
So, you got any weekend plans?
Yeah, Andy, we both do. Remember? D&D? We're playing Dungeons & Dragons on the 23rd of March at MCM Comic Con in Birmingham.
Yes, of course. I knew that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah, I remember things.
Sure, okay. Well, in that case, what are we doing next, right now?
Dance number.
Comments.
Comments. Yeah. Glad you remembered. Well, here we are in Ghost Mode, Mike.
Yeah,
in
do we
Miami.
have to?
Yeah, well, we don't have to, but I thought it'd be fun.
That was hot action from hot Ghost Mode
God.
in Hitman 2.
So stressful.
The rematch, the
And
grudge
unpleasant.
match.
Yeah.
that
Fix
was...
Ghost Mode. IO, it's all clearly broken.
How do you feel about it a week
So
on?
angry.
So angry.
Let's storm out right now.
Don't
Instead,
read me a comment
I'll read a
instead
comment.
about Ghost Mode and how you lost to Mike yet again.
I mean, really, everyone lost because the game is broken.
The games industry lost.
So yeah, really, humanity lost. iCam here says Mike kills a target, gains
Okay.
a point, then kills non-target, loses a point. Yep, this is the Ghost Mode play I was expecting.
I get eliminated.
There we go.
Let's knock this guy out as well, just for good measure.
Oh, well, you got him as well?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, come on!
Yes!
Stupid game.
So,
He only killed one non-target. I thought I was going to definitely win by attrition because he was just going to wipe out all his score, but he
Yeah.
managed to rein it in.
yeah, it was
somehow.
actually quite a extravagant show of restraint.
He can be
from
stealthy
Mike.
when he wants to. He just doesn't want
He just
to.
doesn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so aggravating about it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's aggravating about it. Well, as commenter 7 with a 7 in the middle,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the movie.
the Brad Pitt film.
Yeah,
What
the
does
Brad
the
Pitt
Brad
film
Pitt
7
film
writes
say?
to say. Again, I say nerf Mike more. If Mike is your opponent, you should just get 4 points before the round even starts. To be honest, he'd still somehow fumble his way towards a win.
Yeah,
Which,
I agree. We call it the Mike bonus.
yeah.
If you're
which
playing
is-
Mike, you get 4 points.
I think people were saying, oh, Andy says that Mike isn't playing it properly.
Yeah.
But Andy isn't playing it properly either.
What?
And to an extent, I agree that Ghost Mode sort of requires you both to play the same way, I think.
Okay.
Because if you're being extremely cautious and someone else isn't being extremely cautious, and you're not used to not playing any other way, at least I find I get really flustered by it, and then I try and do things quickly, and I'm not used to doing things quickly,
Sounds
and
like
it just all falls
you're
apart.
being outplayed?
No. I want to be very clear here that I'm not being outplayed.
Okay.
Just Mike is forcing my hand into playing in a way
I mean, that sounds like high-level tactics.
No, again. Bad. The tactics are bad, and Mike is bad.
It's like you're saying there's 2 ways to play chess. One is where you're good at chess, and one is where you're not.
No.
And he
No.
cheated by being good at chess.
No. It's like if we were playing chess and
Okay.
someone was taking considered good moves,
Right.
and the other person was just randomly moving in a way that was impossible for the chess master to predict.
Okay, he's a perfect engine of chaos, and that's...
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and I mean,
impossible to
how
combat.
could
Yeah.
how could a flawless chess master
I
be
see.
expected to cope with that?
If you programmed, like, Big Blue, that was the chess computer, right?
Yeah.
Deep
Deep Blue.
Big Blue's
Big
like...
Blue.
Yeah, whatever.
Big
You
Blue.
programmed into Deep Blue to just make random illegal chess moves.
Yeah,
It'd
exactly.
be very hard.
That's a
for a
very
chess
good
pro
metaphor. I'm glad
to
we
be
agree.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ah.
But yeah, I think because I never, when I'm playing Hitman, I never sort of run out of cover and hit people with a crowbar and sprint around, not hiding bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're playing against Mike in Ghost Mode, you have to do that. Otherwise, he's already off and killed the target before you're
Yeah.
anywhere near it. You can't
Yeah.
just thoughtfully plan your approach. You have to sort of sprint off and.
It is fascinating because a lot of our Hitman 2 videos, including a new 3 ways to play coming very soon,
Yeah.
they're all based on the premise that we play in very different ways.
Yeah.
But because Hitman hasn't had multiplayer up until this point, like there's been no way that those playstyles kind of, have to fight each other.
I think
They've never
it's-
been exposed to each other before, and in that exposure,
Yeah.
Mike's style comes out on top.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably fair. I think it's a bit like.
But that could be. You could say it's Ghost Mode's fault. Like it's
Yeah.
still a balance issue. I
It's-
don't know.
It's sort of like when UFC first became popular.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of people were like, oh, there's going to be some like kung fu legend from a Shaolin temple that's going to beat everyone because he's like got the most studied noble style of kung fu. But the style of fighting that wins UFC fighting is sort of grappling on the floor and just like punching each other in the junk as hard as possible. And like just like forearms to the face, the gold ground and pound.
It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Literally.
It sort of it did away with the myth of the kung fu films where like wise old ancient masters could beat everyone at kung fu because they just had that inner knowledge.
Right.
And that's not how it works.
I kind of see what you're getting at.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that someone does. I think Hitman doesn't see what I'm getting at. But, you know, people seem to enjoy it, like Yves Cleroux, who says, I was on the floor giggling at Mike and Andy playing Hitman. I play Hitman the way Andy does, but it's so refreshing to watch Mike play so recklessly and get away with it. We always remember that assassination that we did that we really shouldn't have gotten away with. I just couldn't stop laughing. So, glad that someone enjoyed it. I did.
I mean, that's what we're aiming for. Someone should enjoy it.
Someone should enjoy it.
I like the idea that people find it cathartic watching Mike play, because that's perhaps not how the majority of people play.
Forbidden Hitman technique.
Yeah, exactly. It's not how I want to play. I think it looks very stressful. I quite enjoy the refined technique.
Weirdly, Mike isn't stressed at all by it, whereas I am. Stressed out so much.
No, we should all learn from Mike.
Yeah, Mike's just having a great time. He's just running around like woo.
Would that we could all be like Mike.
Big budget AAA games are a great way to shoot things in robot suits, but you can only do that for so long before you start to crave some variety. That's where we come in with some recommendations for smaller upcoming games that let you do things you simply can't do anywhere else.
What was that then?
That was a clip from a feature about upcoming games to get you out of your gaming rut. You remember you were
I like my gaming ruts.
You were saying all the words in it?
Groove.
That was you.
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
So obviously you remember this video.
I sure do.
I
sure do. It was a bunch of Idea Xbox games, you know, indie games that are coming to Xbox. Some of them are already out on Steam, and some of them are coming to multiple consoles, in fact. But the uniting theme was that they were all these kind of unique indie experiences that you probably, definitely won't find in the kind of big blockbuster mainstream games.
Yes.
You know, really novel little experiences that might inspire you out of your gaming rut.
What were some of your favourites?
I like Cake Bash.
Cake Bash.
Cakes and bashing.
Yeah, that's going to be at Res, you know. We can play it at Res.
What, you mean in 3 weeks' time?
Yeah.
Thereabouts?
Some amount of weeks' time.
We can play
Cake Bash.
Cake Bash for ourselves.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Forgotten
Maybe
City.
they'll let us play it and record it, and then we can...
That'd be great. We can get a video on the site.
Channel.
If you're watching and you made Cake Bash, can we play it, please?
Can we play Cake Bash?
And capture it.
And eat cakes.
Yeah.
Also,
also cake.
cool.
Real cakes. If you don't have real cakes on your stand, you're in.
The thing I liked about Cake Bash was that your objective, other than beating up your opponent cakes, is that you're trying to make your cake the most delicious by like adding more sprinkles
the most extra
to yourself.
Cake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like get jelly beans and Smarties and Twizzlers and whatever on there, and then try and bash them off your opponents.
Yeah.
So you become the most delicious cake, presumably, with the end goal of you're the first to be eaten. You're like.
Yeah. Do you think that's the winning cutscene? They just get.
Oh, mighty human, eat me first.
They've rendered Jane in the game. Whole cake.
That's the final stage. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I thought Forgotten City.
Forgotten City.
Which is the Skyrim mod that's now a standalone game.
Yeah, we played it a few years ago on the channel. We played it when it was a really elaborate, really impressive Skyrim mod. And now it's going to be its own standalone game. Fancy that.
After Party, the guys who made Oxenfree.
Yes.
Their game about people in hell trying to party harder than the
clever
devil.
Things to each other, being cool kids, drinking. Don't drink, kids.
I thought that looked really good though.
But yeah, having a drinking contest with Satan.
Nisansa de Silva agrees about the Forgotten City, saying, I remember the Forgotten City mod. I am so glad they got a standalone game. Hope they do well.
Now the Forgotten City has taken on a life of its own and is coming out as a full-blown standalone game adapted from the original mod.
What if you discovered a city long forgotten? A place only rumored in ancient myth and legend.
But yeah, Forgotten City I thought was very impressive looking. I like the way that they've taken a game that was set in Skyrim and moved it to ancient Rome, which is
Yeah.
the sort of, I guess, the
historic equivalent of
historic
Skyrim.
equivalent of
Sort of
Skyrim.
well, I guess.
Yeah, it sort of works. Temples and scars.
The historic
and
equivalent
armor
of
and-
Skyrim is presumably somewhere Scandinavian.
Is it though? Because I mean, the setting is, but everyone's in
I was very like imperial,
and stuff. Yeah, all that stuff seems a bit Roman.
a little bit Roman as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they gave it some thought and they decided that Rome was the best analogy.
Well, it's attractive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like lots of Roman ruins and golden statues, that
And those
kind of
helmets
thing.
that have got the
Looks fun.
brush on it,
Yeah.
like a broom.
Yeah.
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 It's good stuff. Andy McP says, such a good idea for a list. Firewatch and Oxenfree got me out of a gaming rut a while back. Nothing worse than starting to think you don't like your favourite thing when you're really just burnt out on shooters.
Yes, I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. I've had a handful of indie games that have kind of inspired me and made me realise, wait, I really like games. And it's easy to get kind of jaded when you're playing a lot of the same thing,
Yeah.
and you get kind of into your comfort zone, and you're using the same gaming skills over and over, right?
Yeah, they're like palette cleansers. aren't they?
Yeah.
They sort of like just reset your gaming palette so you're ready for other new things, which is cool. And yeah, like you say, we picked all of these games because they offered something a bit different to what you'd see in the sort of big AAA releases. So yeah, glad that Andy McP was inspired by the list. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. They're not all out yet, though.
Well, some of them are out.
You might have to
some of them are
wait
already
a
out on
little
PC, etc.
Yeah.
Some of them you're going to have to wait a little bit for, but they should all be worth waiting for.
Yeah. Try mixing it up. Play something different.
Here at Outside Xbox, we're suckers for spooky first-person horror games, particularly ones set in creepy mansions, where the interior decoration is mostly baby dolls on strings.
And finally, Illustrated Jill says, looking forward to Andy and his safety beanie yelping through silver chains for this year's Hallow stream. Pretty please.
Silver chains.
Yeah, that was the horror game one.
Oh, not Silverchair, not the.
Silverchair. Oh, the Australian rock
No,
band.
not those guys. Silver Chains. Yeah, it was another like first-person haunted house simulator. That looked good.
Sorry, I was thinking about Silverchair. Yes, it was like every horror game cliche in one. I love that. It's
Yeah.
like a
That's
Netflix.
why I watch Netflix horror
Yeah,
films.
horror.
I'm like, I want you to hit all the
Yeah.
cliches, all the necessary tropes.
Yeah.
I want to play Netflix horror bingo.
Yeah, what are the sort of the key things on a Netflix like thumbnail that you look for a really good bad
You can only
horror
get
film?
one thing on a horror thumbnail, and it's like it's
Yeah.
just scared woman's face being
Yeah.
menaced by whatever scary thing that horror film is about.
Yeah,
usually.
if the movie title is red or the font used is really pointy, that's good.
I was saying how to spot
How to spot these things on Netflix?
Well, it's usually because there's a big bloody monster on it.
Yeah,
Or a doll.
like yeah,
or a demon.
a spooky child.
We're not going for subtlety here.
Yeah, big black eyes or a big black mouth on something. Those are usually good
Yeah,
signs.
yeah.
And yeah, if it's like a single word that means evil. So,
Yeah, guess
like,
it. Open your thesaurus.
Yeah.
Find a synonym for evil. This is if you want to make one.
Yeah.
And it says
Just
like.
scroll through. So if it's like malicious.
Yeah, insidious.
Yeah.
Sinister. No, you can't have those.
Can't have
They're
it
taken.
sinister. Yeah, or
Malevolent.
sinister. Malevolence.
Or, yeah.
Malevolence would be a good one.
Yeah, that's probably one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it's like
Badness.
yeah.
The baddening.
The baddening. Man, the baddening would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like that, but for video games. So I'm fully on. There was literally a bit with a spooky gramophone.
Spooky gramophone, spooky child.
Spooky dolls
saying,
hanging from the
you'll be
ceiling."
sorry. My mum is angry at you.
Yeah, I just want to point out as well that this is supposed to be set in England, and the child said something like, "Mommy is so mad at you," and I was like, localization.
Did it?
Where did this child pick up?
Wow, you
These
would not
Americanisms.
get on with most Netflix horror. Your bar of quality is very high.
You know, I love Netflix horror.
Mommy is mad at you.
Yeah, just
been
saying, a
localised
Victorian
for-
child ghost wouldn't say "Mommy is mad at
It's
you."
localized for US English.
Okay, that's fair.
How is anyone supposed to understand what mummy is very cross at you?
Cross at you.
Who? I don't even understand that. Who could possibly pass that phrase? Well, silver chairs though.
Silverchair.
No, wait, silver
Yeah,
chains. Silver
let's
chains.
let's put on some Silverchair.
No.
I love-
Silver chains.
Oh,
Is-
yeah,
is-
Hallow Stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be part of the Hallow Stream
If it's
series.
out by Halloween, let's play.
If it's
Silver
not out by
Chains.
Halloween, you guys have dropped the ball, because that is when people want to play horror games.
We're aiming for a Christmas launch. The silver chains.
Oh, you got to sell your pumpkin futures before Halloween. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you for all your comments this week. They've
Yeah.
been very good and enlightening. So I guess I should go now.
Should you?
Should I?
I can't. Yeah, no, you should go. I'm gonna get Mike back in here.
All right, I'm going to go and play some Silverchair.
Silverchair.
I'm going to tell Mike to come in. But yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Who inspires you?
That's it, can you believe it? One more episode of Show of the Week, done and dusted. But before you go about your business, please remember to smash that like button with a hammer. Just really destroy, obliterate.
Please don't
go to
smash your
town
computer screen with the hammer.
on the button. Then we'll see who's boss, won't we? Like button.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Shit. How's it going in Sekiro then?
Yeah, I seem to be dying even more with this new Phantom Clear controller.
Yeah, you sure are. I probably need to get good scrub or something, you know how it goes. Well, I'm going to go for lunch then.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 5 pizzas today.
enjoy.
I ought to do it.